back with Resurrected Hope Ministries news and more. It is Tuesday evening, July 2nd, 2024. Now, every time, if you remember, we're going to ask you to see what you see with your own two eyes, to hear what you hear with your own two ears, and then ask God for wisdom and discernment for what makes sense, what makes the most sense. And then ask God for courage and strength to act. Tonight, we're going to talk about the state of our country in this upcoming election and what's at stake. I know you guys probably know or remember Rush Limbaugh. Amazing. Such a force for conservatism. Left us a couple years ago after battling cancer pretty hard. And I wondered, who would replace Rush? Well, you can't replace Rush. And I thought, the two guys that replaced him at his hour, they do a pretty fine job. But I thought maybe a Dan Bongino would be that guy. And while I do believe he could be, there is a guy that is a Rush Limbaugh, and it's Stephen K. Bannon. I don't know if you guys are aware of him. He served in Trump's administration for a period of time at the beginning. The man is highly intelligent, served in the Navy, and now he has this War Room show. It's on Real American Voice and Rumble. I think it's on Getter as well. You need to watch it and learn from it. But if you tune in right now and for the next 4 months, you won't see Stephen K. Bannon because he's another victim of the weaponization of Joe Biden's government. The Biden regime. They are taking down their political opponents one person at a time, just like a dictatorship. You all know what they're doing to Trump or trying to do. And yes, the Supreme Court has acted recently that's going to back off some of the cases against Trump or eliminate them altogether. Should he not win this fall, which the stakes are incredibly high, and I think that's why I want to talk to you guys about this, because I feel like this is probably the last free and fair election, if we can get it to be so, as Trump would say, too big to rig, where the margin is so big they can't possibly cheat enough to win. And yes, they do. It's proven, and they would defend that comment by saying, well, there's not a court in the land that's heard the case that would agree with you. That's because the people that are hearing the cases, the judges, the Supreme Court wouldn't even touch it. The judges are all Obama judges, and I don't know about Biden, but probably clear back to Clinton. But we all know about Trump and what he's under, the attack that he's under, because he dared to come back to run for president one more time. He just said the other night in the debate, I could have stayed in Mar-a-Lago. I could have golfed every day. I could have enjoyed my life. I wouldn't have 700 years of prison facing me, 34 felonies, being attacked constantly, death threats, potential for assassination. You think he doesn't know that? He could have stayed home. But because he decided to come back, he's being attacked. This is like living in China or Russia. And we have a responsibility to change this thing. And we can do more than vote. And, when I watched the show yesterday, when they took Stephen K. Bannon to the prison in Delaware, and he said, I don't want your letters. I don't want you shedding tears for me. I want you to go after this thing. Action, action, action. So I think we all owe it to our God, to our families, and to our countries to do something about this. And we can't afford another 4 more years of this, literally. I mean, your paycheck's not growing, but the expenses are. And that's just one small thing that we're going to talk about tonight. There's another guy named Peter Navarro that, like Stephen Bannon, was advised by their attorneys not to show up for a subpoena from the January 6th committee, an illegitimate committee. They picked Nancy Pelosi, created this committee, and she did pick two Republicans, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. They're they're Democrats, but they have an R behind their name. They're not Republicans. They both hate Trump. So I mean, it's such a anyway. Under the advice of their attorneys, Bannon and Navarro didn't go honor the subpoena. Well, Peter Navarro is already in prison, almost done with his 4-month term. He served under Trump as an advisor, and Bannon just started his on Monday. Rudy Giuliani, y'all know, the mayor of New York City, he's being bankrupt because he dare serve under the Trump administration, right? They're going after attorneys that would support Trump and Bannon and Giuliani and Navarro. They're trying to get them disbarred. Parents at school board meetings being investigated by the FBI, the Department of Justice, as potential homegrown terrorists because they dare go to schools and confront the teachers about what their kids could possibly be being taught. Catholic churches being investigated by the FBI as potential terrorists. People peacefully protesting and praying outside of abortion clinics getting arrested. It was a 70-some-year-old woman got sentenced the other day to go to prison. I don't know what her term is, like 10 years. She'll probably die in prison. They're coming after you guys. If you're MAGA, if you're a Christian, you're conservative, American first, America first, they're coming after you. All these people that I'm telling you about, and then how about the January 6th guys? They've been stuck in prison with no trial and no trial date. And what's funny is the media, they sit on every day and they talk about Trump and this dictatorship. If he gets back in and he's going to arrest his opponents and hang on, buddy. Daddy's on video. If you want to say hi, you can. Yeah. Okay. Here comes Caleb. Say hi. You got to come around here where Dad's at. There you are. Say hi, Caleb. Hi. They can hear you, buddy. Hi. All right. Go on. I'll be in a minute. Okay. All right. Hey. So anyway, all these people I'm telling you about, they're either going to prison, they're in prison, they're being deplatformed if they have a heavy-duty platform. And just think of this. They subpoenaed Steve Bannon, I think, 2 years ago. And he's had some delays, I think. But his term will be ending like November 1st. War Room is like one of the most popular shows that's out there for our movement, for the Make America Great Again movement. And Steve Bannon just has this way about him to get people involved in networking and growing this movement. It's an unbelievable thing. And he is an unbelievable man with a purpose, and they shut him down. Well, they are not going to shut him down. It's just going to grow. And I hope it grows so big that, like Trump says, it'll be too big to rig. But make no mistake, they're coming after you guys. And just so you know, the January 6th thing wasn't an insurrection. It was a setup. They had so many undercover FBI guys out there, and this is all going to come out. They had so many undercover FBI guys in the crowd egging those people on to do things. And yeah, they had their own free will, and yeah, there were some bad actors there. Trump had 10,000 National Guard ready to be deployed that day to prevent anything like what happened happening. And Nancy Pelosi and one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Milley, and the Mayor Bowser of D.C. all told him to stand down. They wanted this thing to go down. They wanted this to go down so Trump could be labeled an insurrectionist and never hold public office again. And I'll bet it would have went away if he wouldn't have come back, but he came back. So what's the crime for all these people going to prison? For being pro-MAGA? For saying the 2020 election was stolen? How dare we say the 2020 election was stolen? It's not like Hillary would ever said anything like that, or Nancy Pelosi, or Barack Obama, or Al Gore, or Chuck Schumer, or a countless number of other Democrats that said that Trump was an illegitimate president from 2016. See, Hillary was supposed to take the White House. She was coming back. Bill was going to be the first lady. Can you imagine Billy Boy back in the White House? Oh, my goodness. Running to McDonald's every day to get his exercise. Anyway, that's not very nice. Seriously, though, we're election deniers, but that's all they've done since George Bush beat Al Gore. You know, the hanging Chad. Remember that? It's been like that ever since. And the reason they didn't debate Ronald Reagan when he won, because he won by a landslide, like overwhelming landslides. I think he won, was it 48 states one year and 49 states the next or something like that? So that's how you have to win it. You have to win it. It's got to be too big to rig. So the crime is also, if you're a Christian, if you're a conservative, and who's doing this, right? Who's doing this? Who's behind all this? Well, the deep state, the big money people, the elites, Hollywood, media, foreign entities. If there's Russian interference, it's for the Democrats, not for us. They don't want Trump back in there. So what are your choices? What's at stake? Everything. It's all on the line. I mean, if you have the mindset of ignorance is bliss, then you're going to get what you get. You're going to destroy our country. Don't leave it in somebody else's hands to take care of this. Make sure you go vote. You can contact your reps. Simple call, an email, write them a letter. I'm going to get into some things that you can do here by the end of this. And I know I'm going to lose you if I keep you on here too long, but you got to vote in every election, especially November 5th with the presidential election coming up. Do it for God. Do it for your family. Do it for your country. Get involved. If your position is what I just mentioned, to do it for God, do it for your country, do it for your family, then Trump's your only choice. This is bigger than him, though. This Make America Great Again movement is ginormous. This thing can last a lifetime. It doesn't have to end with 4 years of Trump and then right back to the same old deep state, you know, the swamp, is that's what they talk about, the swamp. Well, the swamp is all those things I talked about, the deep state, the elites, Hollywood, the media, foreign entities. They're all in on it. This could be generational. I want my little Caleb, who's 5 years old, to grow up and have every opportunity that I had. When I graduated high school, Ronald Reagan was president. You know what the economy was like back then. We were feared by our enemies. From 2016 to 2020, it was the same way under Trump, in more hostile environment than Reagan ever faced. And the only thing that derailed Trump just a little bit was the Chinese flu, the COVID that got laid on all of us. So Trump's got to pick a vice president that can be president immediately. I think J.D. Vance is one of those guys. I think Byron Donalds is one of those guys. I don't know about some of the other ones. I think Ben Carson could be a great vice president that could be president. But I think that's the mindset Trump's going after. He's going after a guy that could be president immediately because he knows what's at stake. And not only do we have to win the presidency, but we have to retain the House and maybe grow that margin, because there's a guy in the House. His name's Jamie Raskin. He's a rascal, man. He's one evil dude, but he has promised that if they get the House back, if the Democrats get the House back, and Trump wins, they will not certify the election for him being president. They said they will not certify the election for an insurrectionist, as they continue to call him. We have to win back the Senate. We have the Supreme Court. And then on January 20th, 2020, to make America, maybe since the founding, because I'm not sure we'll ever have that gigantic love and respect and foundational hold of the Bible, of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. I'm not sure we ever get back to that, those days. You think businesses will start shutting down on Sunday if Trump's president? Probably not. And I'm not coming at this that Trump's some kind of a savior, but he is the man for the moment. This is the moment. We need him, but it needs to be bigger than him and bigger than the next 4 years. It needs to be for a lifetime. There he is. In that see, that's the future right there. That's the future. Immerse him in God and the Bible and teach him about how great our country is, and he has a future someday. All right, buddy. Come on. I'm almost done, okay? Let me finish. Can you?
Yeah.
You got to be a good boy. I'll be out in a minute. So what's the goals? What does the Trump presidency look like? Well, we close the borders, right? So that slows down or completely stops the flow of illegal drugs into this country, the fentanyl and all that. Will it completely shut it down? No. But it's going to make it, I think it's going to get it under control. The crime is going to go down. And in that, the murders, the rapes, the breaking and entries, the drag on the economy. When you have homeless vets in the streets and you have illegal immigrants staying in lush hotels, there's something wrong. We have to deport the illegal immigrants. I'm not against legal immigration. We are all immigrants. But there's a bad element coming into this country. When does China let their people just roll out and go wherever they want to go? I don't think so. They're on a mission. We're going to have a strong economy again. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like your paycheck to grow and maybe the prices to go down? To drill, baby, drill right here in our own country. If you want electric, that's great. If you want solar, great. You want wind, great. We got lots of wind. Anyway, that's a whole nother problem. A strong military. Who doesn't want that? To be feared by your enemies because they're afraid of you. They don't know what's going to happen. They respect you because of that strength. Energy independence. Like I said, if you want to have a solar, your roof be covered with solar panels, God bless you, go for it. But I want oil and coal and gas, I always crack up when this, I think, what's her name? Jennifer Granholm. She's the energy secretary or something. They were outside bragging about these new electric pumping stations for the car. And they asked, the media asked her, well, where's the power source come from? And she said electric or coal or oil. I mean, it's just not, you can't get the electricity through windmills and solar panels yet. I mean, the technology's out there. I think it's great. I'm not against it at all, but I want the hardcore stuff. You know what I mean? So what else? America first, Americans first. What's wrong with that? Constitution is upheld and respected. Rule of law is restored. Wouldn't that be great? The government wouldn't use their power against we the people. Our Christian faith secure once more. It is a proven fact that when Republicans are in office, when we have people like Reagan and Trump, our Christian values, churches, and everything are more secure. Caleb, stop. Please don't mess with the green screen, okay? Buddy, you can't. You got to stop, okay? You got to stop. Caleb, this is about listening in school, okay? It'll be interesting on the first day of school, see how this goes. So, and the deep state dismantled. Remember what makes up the deep state: the elites, the foreign entities, the media, Hollywood. It's scary. If you have other priorities other than what I listed, then your only choice is Joe Biden, if he stays in the race, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, a guy named Shapiro, I think he's in Pennsylvania, or somebody else. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. So no matter who, other than Trump, you're going to, if you don't vote for Trump, you're going to have our country be destroyed. The woke diversity, equity, and inclusion will just continue to run wild. I mean, what loving parent wouldn't want a guy dressing up in a woman's attire and dancing in front of their kids at story hour at the public library? I mean, how awesome is that? Is that what you want? Is that what you really want? Oh, wow. Because it's out there, and then they're willing to push this thing to the bitter end. Because if they don't work for God, they work for the devil 24/7, and you can count on it. That's where all this is coming from. Straight from the devil, right? So what do we do about it? Well, first, we want God's blessing. We want to be a nation that's prayerful. 2 Chronicles 7:14. That's what we want. Men and women, husbands and wives, give your life to Christ first. That's foundational. Moms and dads, teach your kids to know who Christ is and what the Bible is all about. Raise them with great morals given by God. Work hard, love your country, get engaged, get involved. I mean, don't get engaged literally. I mean, yeah, that'd be great if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, get engaged. I'm talking about getting engaged in your country, right? Volunteer, tell others about Christ, and then, help them with getting their salvation set first. And then talk to people about God and the Bible and how it relates to our politics. I mean, you cannot deny it. You can't separate it. It's together. It really is. It cannot be separated. We can't take 4 more years of this current administration and its socialist policies. We're going to lose our country. We're going to lose our country and all the freedoms that we've been given by God and all those that fought and died for those freedoms. If you love your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids, you got to vote for Trump. It's your only choice. Again, I don't think he's the savior of the world, but he is really the only person at this time. Caleb, you're not going to make it in school if you don't listen. I'm telling you, bud, you're going to have a hard time. If you're a Christian, you got to vote for Trump. And if you love your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids, you got to vote for Trump. Do we really want the whole world continuing to pour in here? And if you say yes to that, how many are you taking in? How many rooms do you have in your house that you could have a family in each one of those rooms? And you can feed them and clothe them and take care of them? Wouldn't that be awesome? How many do you want? Do you want a diverse, equity, and inclusive military that is weak compared to Russia and China? And we're more worried about having a drag queen show on a naval carrier out in the Pacific instead of teaching how to win a battle? Do you want a weak economy with prices through the roof at every turn? The left, the deep state, the elites, the Hollywood, the media, they all hate us. They absolutely hate you guys. If you're a Christian and conservative, a MAGA supporter, an election denier, they hate you. They will stoop as low as they possibly can to stay in power through cheating, through another COVID. Check out the bird flu and how it's developing and slowly becoming the next potential pandemic. There's a warning on Reuters today about it. That could shut us down, and then you wouldn't be able to have a free and fair election. There'll be a lot of mail-in ballots, right? How about a climate crisis, a war? Can't remove the sitting president during a war, up to and including assassination. Take Trump out. What do we do then? Well, I know he knows it's possible, and I know we know it's possible. So we got to wake up, pray up, so that you can go up to heaven someday. Ask God what you can do for him, for your family, for your country. And I'm going to ask you again to watch War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. It's on Real America's Voice, on Rumble. I believe he's on Getter. You got to stay informed. There's some other places that, some good sites that you might want to check out while you're at it. I mentioned Rumble. National Pulse by a guy that used to be a Muslim. He's reformed now. He's the real deal, Raheem Kassam. Getter, Epic Times, Revolver.news. I mentioned Real America's Voice. Christian Broadcast Network, Pat Robertson's site. Citizens for Renewing America, and precinctstrategy.com. I'm going to show you some of these places. It's where you can get involved. Precinct Strategy is where you actually get involved in your precinct, be a precinct captain to help make sure that where you vote in that area is secure and there's no funny business going on. I mean, they just had an election the other day down south, Virginia maybe. The ballots or the voting stopped at 7 o'clock, and they had unsecured drop boxes being filled with ballots again. And the guy, oh my gosh, he ended up losing. Anyway, Citizens for Renewing America, that has issues on there that you can vote on, that you can contact your representatives to keep them in check. I mean, the media is not doing it, and that was what the media was created for. Isn't that a shame? Did you guys know that? And then I'm going to wrap this up. The media was created by the founders as a third arm, an independent group to hold politicians accountable. Do you think CNN and MSNBC is holding anybody accountable? NBC, ABC, CBS News, PBS, even Fox News now. I mean, they're owned by a foreign entity. They're not what they used to be. But the things that I listed off here, the ones I listed off, they are the real deal. They are the real deal. And there's another guy named Ben Berquam. He does law and border. He goes down and puts his life on the line with a guy named Oscar Blue Ramirez, and they show you what's coming in from around the world into this country. They go on the streets in Chicago and New York and let you see how the black folks and Hispanic folks in this country, they're trying to do it right, are being replaced by these people, these illegals. And it's going to continue to happen. So you got to wake up, pray up, and then go up to heaven someday. But while you're here, you're called to occupy. And that doesn't mean just to sit on your hands. That means to stand your ground. Will you stand your ground like your forefathers did? The World War II heroes, the greatest nation. Will you stand your ground? You're just going to let us go. We're just going to go to pot. It's not going to get better. It's not going to stop until we stop them. Steve Bannon always says, action, action, action. He's serving 4 months in prison for crap. They would have Trump rot to death in prison. If he doesn't win the election, that's what they'll do to him. That's what they'll do. So wake up, guys. Well, listen, we're not going to do Resurrect Hope Ministries news and more every day, but when it becomes overwhelming and you need to know stuff, then we're going to let you know about it. But I am going to beat the drum about you guys get involved, do something for this country. We need you. We need you now. Our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids aren't going to have a future. And I don't think you want that. Anyway, God bless you all. And if the creek don't rise, I'll talk to you real soon. Have a good night.